Imagine this, you're not losing your mind. That gut-wrenching chaos, the serene mornings exploding into all-out war, the woman who whispered, "I love you," now plotting your emotional demolition. It's real. You're not crazy. You're just blind. What you're enduring isn't some cosmic joke, a hormone glitch, her flaws, or proof you picked wrong. No, this is a high-stakes test, a slick, unconscious psyop engineered to nail down one brutal truth. Are you still the unbreakable man I fell for, or have you gone soft? And here's the kicker. Most guys crash and burn without even spotting the exam. They cling to fairy tale delusions. We're partners. Love equals harmony. Just be nicer, more patient, and it'll all smooth out. Spoiler, it won't. Because the chaos isn't a bug to fix. It's the system, a razor-sharp filter to reveal your core. Stick with me, and I'll flip your world upside down. You'll finally get why she ignites fights out of nowhere. Why she shoves you away when she's dying for you to pull her in. Why she jabs at your strength to see if it'll crack. And the revelation that'll rewrite your marriage. She's not the enemy. She's your ultimate quality control. But 99% of men never crack the code. They waste years convinced they're bombing at love when they're really flunking leadership. Their relationships don't shatter overnight. They erode in 1,000 tiny white flags they call compromise. Dead on arrival, ready to shatter the matrix and lead like the king you were born to be. Stay, craving the cozy lie. Bail now. Still here? Hell yes. Let's torch the illusions. Picture this scene. You know it by heart. Everything is good. You've been getting along. The relationship feels stable. You're proud of yourself for maintaining peace. And then, out of nowhere, chaos. An argument over nothing. A test you didn't know you were taking. An emotional reaction so disproportionate to the trigger that you're left confused, defending yourself against accusations that make no logical sense. You try to reason with her. You try to fix it. You apologize for things you didn't do just to restore peace, and sometimes it works. The storm passes. She softens. You think you've solved it, but you haven't. You've just postponed the next test, because here's what you don't understand. The chaos is not a malfunction. It's a feature. She's not broken. She's testing whether you are. Most men experience this pattern for years without recognizing it as a pattern. They think each incident is isolated. Each argument is about the specific topic, the dishes, the tone, the text message, the decision she disagrees with. It's never about those things. It's always about one thing: your frame, your strength, your ability to remain unshaken when she becomes the storm. And the moment you understand this, everything changes. Because you stop defending yourself against the content of the argument and start recognizing the process of the test. She doesn't need you to be perfect. She needs you to be unshakable. And every time you break, every time you seek her approval, every time you apologize for having standards, you failed the test. Not because you're a bad man, but because you're playing the wrong game. Let me tell you why this happens. For hundreds of thousands of years, female survival depended on one thing: choosing a man strong enough to protect her and her children in a hostile world. Not the nicest man, not the most agreeable man, the strongest. And strength is not a static quality. It degrades. Men grow comfortable. They lose their edge. They become soft in the absence of threat. So women evolved a mechanism to test for strength continuously. Not consciously, not deliberately, but instinctively. She creates chaos to see if you remain calm. She pushes boundaries to see if you enforce them. She withdraws affection to see if you chase validation or remain centered. This is not malicious. This is biological quality control. In the ancestral environment, a man who couldn't handle her emotional storms couldn't handle real threats. A man who sought her approval couldn't lead under pressure. A man who broke at her tests would break when it actually mattered. And so the testing never stops, because the consequences of choosing wrong were death. Your rational mind says, but we're not in the ancestral environment anymore. We're safe, modern, civilized. Her limbic system doesn't know that, and neither does yours. You're still operating on hardware designed for a world that no longer exists. And that hardware is running programs you're not even aware of. She tests you because her DNA demands verification that you're still worthy. And you fail the tests because you think you're in a partnership when you're actually in a hierarchy. This is the truth no one tells you. Relationships are not egalitarian. They have structure, they have roles, they have leader and lead. And the moment you abdicate leadership, the moment you seek her approval instead of maintaining your own frame, you become unattractive to her at a level she cannot control or even articulate. She doesn't know why she's picking fights. She just knows something feels wrong. What feels wrong is that you've stopped being the man she chose. Now, let me break down the specific mechanisms. There are two types of tests women run, and most men confuse them. The first is the challenge test. Call it what you want, a boundary push, a provocation, an unreasonable demand. Its purpose is simple, to verify that you still have a spine. She says something disrespectful. She pushes a boundary you set. She makes a demand that violates your stated standards. She creates unnecessary conflict. This is not random. This is strategic, even if she's not conscious of it. She's asking, do you still have standards, or can I do whatever I want? Most men fail this test in one of two ways. They either get angry and defensive, proving they're emotionally reactive and easy to control, or they comply and apologize, proving they have no boundaries and will sacrifice self-respect for peace. Both responses are failures because both responses show you're not in control of yourself. The correct response is calm indifference, not aggression, not compliance, simply unmoved. That's not acceptable. Delivered without anger, without explanation, without negotiation, the boundary stands because you said so, and her reaction to it is irrelevant to you. This is what she's actually testing for. Are you the kind of man who holds frame regardless of emotional pressure? The second test is the reassurance test. She withdraws. She acts distant. She says she's not sure about things. She creates emotional distance. This looks like the opposite of the first test, but it has the same purpose. Verification of your strength. She's asking, are you secure enough in yourself that my withdrawal doesn't destabilize you? Most men panic. They chase. They ask what's wrong 17 times. They seek reassurance about her feelings. They try to fix her mood. Wrong. She doesn't need you to fix her. She needs you to remain solid while she processes whatever she's processing. The correct response is presence without neediness. I'm here when you're ready, and then continuing with your life, unmoved by her emotional weather. This shows her that you're a rock, that her emotional fluctuations don't control you, that you're stable enough to be trusted. Both tests have the same underlying question. Are you still strong, or have you become weak? And here's the cruel irony. The more you try to pass the tests by seeking her approval, the more you fail them. Because the tests are designed to filter for men who don't need approval. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. She wants you to be strong, but she will test your strength by attacking it. She wants you to lead, but she will resist your leadership to see if you're actually committed to it. She wants you to have boundaries, but she will push them to see if they're real. This is the paradox at the heart of every intimate relationship, and most men never figure it out. They think, if she wants me to lead, why does she fight me when I try to lead? Because she doesn't want you to try. She wants you to actually do it. And the difference between trying and doing is that trying seeks permission. A leader doesn't ask for consensus. He makes the decision, communicates it clearly, and allows others to follow or not. A man trying to lead asks for approval, negotiates endlessly, and resents the woman for not making it easier. She doesn't want to make it easier. Easy leadership isn't leadership. It's permission seeking with extra steps. Here's what modern relationship advice won't tell you. She loses respect every time you prioritize her feelings over your standards. Not because she's cruel, because respect is not a feeling, it's an assessment. And she's constantly assessing whether you're the man she thought you were. Every time you break your own boundaries to avoid conflict, she learns you're controllable. Every time you apologize for things you shouldn't apologize for, she learns you're weak. Every time you seek her approval before making decisions, she learns you're not actually leading. And respect, once lost, is almost impossible to recover. This is the truth that destroys weak men. Your woman doesn't want equality. She wants polarity. She wants to feel feminine, which requires you to be masculine. She wants to surrender, which requires you to be strong enough to hold the weight. She wants to trust your leadership, which requires you to stop seeking her permission to lead. The moment you understand this, you'll stop being hurt by her tests and start recognizing them for what they are, opportunities to demonstrate the strength she's verifying. Let me translate the chaos for you. When she picks a fight over something trivial, she's not actually upset about the trivial thing. She's asking, can you stay calm when I'm not? When she says she needs space, she's not asking you to disappear. She's asking, are you secure enough in yourself that my distance doesn't break you? When she pushes a boundary, she's not asking you to remove it. She's asking, is this boundary real or just a suggestion you'll abandon under pressure? When she withdraws affection, she's not punishing you. She's asking, do you need my validation to feel valuable, or do you have your own center? When she creates drama, she's not trying to destroy the relationship. She's asking, are you still the rock I chose, or have you become sand? Everything she does is communication, but it's not communicated in language. It's communicated in behavior. And most men miss the message because they're listening to her words instead of reading the test. She says, you never listen to me. She means I don't feel your presence. Are you still here or just going through motions? She says, you've changed. She means you used to have standards and now you don't. What happened to the man I chose? She says, I don't know if this is working. She means, I need you to show me you are still committed to being strong, because right now I'm not feeling it. The words are noise. The test is the signal. And the test is always the same. Are you still the man worthy of my respect? If you are, she'll feel it. If you're not, she'll know before you do. So what happens when you fail? Slowly, gradually, without announcement, she begins to lose attraction. Not because she's shallow, because attraction is not a choice. It's a response to demonstrated value. You become her friend, her roommate, her project, the person she manages instead of respects. Intimacy dies first, then admiration, then interest. She doesn't leave immediately. She stays hoping you'll figure it out, hoping you'll become strong again, hoping the man she chose is still in there somewhere. But if you don't, if you keep seeking her approval, if you keep breaking your own standards, if you keep failing the tests, she'll eventually detach completely. And the cruelest part is that she won't be able to explain why. She'll say she doesn't feel the spark anymore. She'll say you're great, but something is missing. She'll say she loves you but isn't in love with you. All of these are translations of one thing. I don't respect you anymore. And I can't desire what I don't respect. This is not her fault. This is biology. She cannot consciously choose to be attracted to weakness any more than you can consciously choose to be attracted to masculine behavior in a woman. The mechanism is deeper than choice, and it's not negotiable. So you have two options. Become the man who passes the tests, or watch the relationship die slowly while wondering what you did wrong. Most men choose neither. They stay in the relationship confused and resentful, wondering why she won't just tell them what she wants. She can't tell you because if she has to tell you, you're not it. So what's the answer? Stop seeking her approval. Start maintaining your frame. Frame is not aggression. It's not control. It's not domination. Frame is simply your ability to remain centered in your own reality, regardless of external pressure. When she tests, you don't react. You respond calmly, clearly, without anger or neediness. When she pushes a boundary, you enforce it without explanation. "That doesn't work for me" is a complete sentence. When she creates emotional chaos, you remain the calm in her storm. You don't fix her, you don't chase her. You simply remain present and unshaken. When she withdraws, you give her space without becoming insecure. You trust that she'll return when she's ready, and you continue living your life with purpose. This is masculine frame. This is what she's testing for. And here's what happens when you pass. She relaxes. The testing decreases. The respect returns. The polarity restores. Not because you became perfect, because you became solid. She doesn't need you to never make mistakes. She needs you to not break when things get difficult. She needs you to hold the center when she's spinning at the edges. This is leadership, not domination, leadership. And the moment you step into it, truly step into it without seeking her permission, everything changes. But most men never get there, because stepping into masculine leadership requires something most modern men have been trained to avoid: the willingness to be disagreed with, to be tested, to be temporarily unloved, and to remain unmoved by it all. If you're recognizing patterns in your relationship right now, if you're seeing tests you've been failing, boundaries you've been breaking, approval you've been seeking, you're not alone. Most men were never taught this. Modern culture actively trains you to fail these dynamics by telling you that strength is toxic and that seeking female approval is virtue. It's not. It's a path to being slowly replaced. I built the modern masculine framework specifically to help men understand these dynamics and rebuild their relationships from a position of strength, not weakness. It's a complete system covering frame control, boundary enforcement, emotional mastery, and masculine leadership. Everything you need to stop failing the tests and start becoming the man your woman is actually looking for. The link is pinned in the comments if you're ready to go deeper. But whether you get the framework or not, understand this. Knowledge without action changes nothing. You have to actually apply what you're learning here. So here we are. Your woman is not your enemy. She's your mirror. Every test she runs reveals something about you. Every boundary she pushes exposes whether that boundary is real. Every moment of chaos shows you whether you've maintained your center or lost it in the pursuit of her approval. She's not trying to destroy you. She's trying to verify you. And if you're honest with yourself, you'll realize she has reason to, because you have become weaker. You have started seeking her approval. You have abandoned standards. You've drifted, not with malice, but in 10,000 sneaky moments where you pick cozy comfort over ironclad strength. Now, she's unleashing her primal instinct, probing if the rock-solid man she chose still stands, or if it's time to hunt a new one. This isn't cruelty, it's brutal honesty. The only question that burns now: what the hell are you gonna do? Most guys explode in rage. They finger-point: unreasonable, manipulative, impossible. Bullshit excuses to dodge the mirror. They're flunking because they're too weak to ace it. Some crumble into despair. If she's always testing, I'll never measure up. Wrong. She's testing because she craves you to be enough. These aren't failure flags. They're your golden shot at glory. But the elite, the masters of power, frame, and unshakable masculine command, they smirk at the game. Offense, gone. Approval chasing, dead. They rebuild their fortress standards, slam down iron boundaries, and reclaim that centered, dominant presence they ditched for fake peace. Result? Their relationships detonate into fire, not because she flipped the script, but because he became a goddamn king. Machiavelli nailed it. The prince must wield wrong when it counts, not evil, but a blade against fleeting comfort for eternal empire. Leadership isn't about likes, it's about awe. Your relationship runs the same ruthless code. She doesn't need instant happiness. She needs a man she respects through storms and sun. Respect demands steel, boundaries, frame, the balls to weather her temporary ice for the greater throne. Most trade forever reverence for cheap hugs, then weep as it all crumbles. You know better now. Your woman wages war not from hate, but to verify you. Keep bombing the tests. She'll quit probing and plot her escape. But pass them, forge your frame, enforce your law, lead like a lion, and she'll drop the gauntlet. Why? You've proven it. You're the unbreakable man she worships. In love's arena, respect isn't optional. It's the bedrock of passion, loyalty, everything. Your move, warrior.